Me again today. I wanted to schedule this and see what kind of questions you had. We did a poll the other day to see if there's anything that you need to discuss a little further. And I do have a couple of questions to answer, some that are kind of content related, and then the other ones are just generalization questions. So let's get started. I know that I got a question on how to find the playlists that you guys have to turn in. Most of them are going to be due this Friday, May the 8th, so make sure you get those in. But the playlists can always be found in Google Classroom. You can look under the classwork tab, and then you will go to quarter 4. You, as 7th graders, have 2 playlists, one which was due a couple of Fridays ago with the electromagnetic spectrum, and this Friday you have due the electricity and magnetism playlists. 8th graders, you had a biomes playlist, which will be due this Friday, and the one before that, which was due a couple Fridays ago, was cells. After this Friday, you guys only have one more playlist. 7th graders, yours is going to be on Newton's laws and motion, and 8th graders, we're going to review the scientific method one more time. It's a very short playlist, and there's also some little treats in store for you guys that maybe if you participated before the whole pandemic started, you already might have some of the assignments completed. So playlists, once again, can be found under Google Classroom and the classwork tab, and then quarter 4. Okay. Also, don't forget to do your bell ringers. Those are easy 5 points, guys. Let's see. How many more weeks do we have left? That was another question that I got, and I think it plays very well into the playlist aspect of things. We do have 3 more weeks after this week left. So you'll have 2 weeks to complete your final playlist. And then that last week, as far as science class, you guys won't have anything to do. So maybe you need a little extra time on a particular playlist, or, maybe you just need extra time on your other work. So that last week of May that we'll be in school, you guys won't have anything to do. Let's see. A big test at the end. A lot of you guys asked, and I'm not real sure about your other classes. So reach out to your teachers and they can tell you if you'll have a big cumulative test at the end of the semester. Okay. So that's one less thing for you guys to worry about. Let's see. We asked, how much more work do we have? That kind of goes back into the playlist. You'll have one more playlist after this one, and then you guys are all done and you are set as far as science class. Now, I'm unsure about the other classes that you have. So again, make sure that you check with those teachers. Videos that go with the assignments. I think that's a great question that I got. There are videos for each and every assignment. Sometimes I'm explaining the content a little bit. Other times I'm just explaining how you guys can actually work through that assignment. Hopefully those are helpful. Those can also be found under the classwork tab on Google Classroom and under how-to videos. So for every assignment that's embedded in that playlist, there is a video of me explaining how to walk through the assignments and also reading the material to you guys. So if you have questions on maybe a word, or sometimes you just like that little extra step of me reading to you, that's there as well. So make sure you check out those how-to videos for your assignments. If you need additional information about an assignment, or you want me to make an additional video about some sort of content, just let me know and I can do that as well. The other question I got was playlists for the rest of the year. No, guys, you're not going to have playlists for the rest of the year. Just a moment ago, I explained that you have one more playlist after the one that you're working on, and then you are done. So May the 29th will be your last day of school, unless you have not been participating. And if you haven't been participating, well, then we may see you over the summer sometime in June or July. So do your work. No one wants to go to summer school. And as long as you're not going to summer school, you will be done in May, the last day of May. I think it's the 29th. So you'll be done then. As far as the start of next year, I know some of you asked when we're going to start school next year, because I have no idea. As far as right now, it looks like everything's on track to have a normal start date like we did sort of last year, beginning of August. But again, we don't know yet. So just keep an eye and an ear out for that. We'll send out emails and notifications and letters to you and your parents to let you know about next year. Okay, so just focus on completing this year first, and then you guys go and enjoy and have a great summer, and then we'll see you sometime in fall. Okay. Okay, so I think we talked about that. Now we're going to get a little bit more into content driven questions that you guys had. I know some of you were pretty specific, some of you were very vague. So if while I'm going over certain content, you have questions, just put it on the chat over there to the right. Or send me an email. I will try to check emails as we are doing this. I don't think I have any emails right now. So let's get started. I'm going to start with 7th grade first because I feel like there were a lot more 7th grade questions about content as they are still learning new content, whereas you 8th graders, you guys are just doing review of the questions I got was about currents and electricity. I know that's our new playlist and our new unit, and there are two different things that might trip you up. One are the parallel circuits and the series circuits and how they work. There is a PowerPoint on this and a video that I made going over it, but it still can be a little tricky. So I've sketched out a little diagram here. I'm going to show you guys. Please don't make fun of it. You know, Ms. Wood is not a drawer. So we have here this top one is going to be a parallel circuit. These are my attempts at light bulbs, and this is my attempt here at a battery. So just go with it. In a parallel circuit, there are different tiers that can be powered by this battery. Just remember, a circuit, it has to be closed. There has to be a connection all the way around. Your energy has to go from the plus side to the negative side of your battery, okay? It has to have a continuous flow in order to be a circuit. So in this one, you have tiers. So you can see the two wires are connected to the battery, and the energy is running around, and it is able to light up the light bulb on the outside, but it is also able to light up the light bulb on the middle tier here. Now, cut it off here, we're cutting this wire. Wire's still connected over here, but it's not connected over here. What's going to happen is this battery, the energy is going to come around and it's going to light up this light bulb here because it is one solid connection. However, this battery is not going to light up this light bulb because there is no connection on this side. It is only getting one side of connection. So this light bulb would not light up if we cut it off here. All right. Now, if we made this cut and we cut it off here, let's say right here, not only is it cut off from this, but it's also cut off from the top one. This electricity cannot flow. It is not a circuit any longer, okay? It can't flow all the way around, so neither light bulb would light up. I hope that makes sense. Just remember, a circuit has to be a full connection. There cannot be any breaks in there. If you have a switch, that switch must be on, or it must have that connection between these two wires here in order to get it to work. Now, remember when we said the break was here and this light bulb wasn't lighting up because it's not a complete circuit. However, this top light bulb would still light up even without this one lighting up because you still have that connection of current going through. All right, so that's a parallel circuit. Anytime you have multiple tier parallel circuit, okay? Down here on the bottom, ooh, you guys can see kind of, is a series circuit. Now with this series circuit, again, here's your battery, my attempt at a battery, and then you have your two light bulbs. In this one, again, the circuit is connected all the way around. Okay, so your battery is here, your light bulbs are here, the juices are flowing. So this circuit, the light bulbs are lit up because they're connected to the battery. Now let's say I made a break here. Okay, I've broken up that circuit. The juice is flowing, but wait, it can't connect to the other side. Even though there's a line or a wire on this side of the light bulb, it's still not going to light up. If I cut it here, same thing. It doesn't matter where you cut this circuit at. If you cut this circuit, neither of these light bulbs are going to light up. Okay, in a series circuit, it is one swift motion. So anywhere you cut on a series circuit, if it is not connected to the battery or those wires are not connected, it's not going to light up these light bulbs. The energy, the electricity is not going to go through there. Okay, parallel circuit, you could potentially cut off one and have it still work. Series circuit, you can't cut anywhere. Okay, again, might be a little fuzzy, but I think that hopefully will answer some of the questions you have about series and parallel circuits. It is a very tough unit, especially trying to learn everything online. So if you have other additional questions, please make sure you email me or you post them over here so that I can go through them, guys, because I want to make sure that you do understand electricity and magnetism. It's not going to go away. You'll also see that in high school. All right, so series and parallel circuits. Let's see, 7th grade, what else? A couple of you asked about electromagnetic spectrum and the different groups in that spectrum. So as a reminder, we have gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet rays, infrared rays, microwaves, and radio waves. It also goes back into our unit even before electromagnetic spectrum. We had a unit on waves, and waves are extremely important when we're talking about the electromagnetic spectrum. When we are looking at that, radio waves are going to have the longest wavelength. So remember, wavelength, we're measuring it from crest to crest. Okay, so if these are my two hands, from my hand to this hand, that's going to be one wavelength, and it is a fairly long wavelength. So radio waves have the longest wavelength. And if they have the longest wavelength, that's going to mean that they have the lowest frequency, and it's going to mean they have the lowest amount of energy. So radio waves, they are the lowest frequency, the lowest amount of energy, and they have the longest wavelength. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, you guys have gamma rays. Gamma rays have the shortest wavelength. So again, long wavelength. Now we have the shortest wavelength. We're going from crest to crest, and it's going to be very short. So that's our short wavelength there. Now, since the gamma rays have the shortest wavelength, they're also going to have the highest frequency and the highest energy. So one end of the spectrum, you have high frequency, high energy, short wavelength, and on the other, you have longest wavelength, lowest frequency, and lowest energy. Okay, in between those, that's where you have the X-rays, ultraviolet rays, infrared waves, and microwaves. So look at those diagrams that I gave you. You guys also should have some hard copies because we handed some of those out at, the last week that we were actually in school. So you should have a copy of the electromagnetic spectrum and the different things that it includes. So make sure you review that. Hopefully that gave you a little bit of clarification. Just remember, if the wavelength is the longest, you're going to have the lowest energy, frequency, pitch, all that. Okay. Now, if the wavelength is short, then you have the highest energy, the highest frequency, the highest pitch. Okay. Remember, there's a correlation between wavelength and everything else. Whatever wavelength is, the others are going to be the opposite. Okay. So, as far as seventh grade, I think those are all the questions that I had. You guys didn't really provide a lot of specificity toward what you needed me to go over. So again, please post it in the chat or email me while we're still going, and I will come back around to it. Eighth grade. You guys asked me a couple of questions. One was about the biomes, creating the own biome for the project that you guys have. Yes, I want you to create your own biome. I want you guys to have fun with it. It does not have to be a real biome. It does not have to be a desert. It doesn't have to be a rainforest, a tundra. You don't have to have animals that really exist. I want you to make up your own world. Leah, I see that you were on, and her biome was phenomenal. She made one up, which I thought was absolutely amazing. So make sure that you guys have fun with this. The point is understanding the factors that go into making a biome. But again, this doesn't have to be real. So have fun with it. Make something up. I want to see creativity. The last thing I want to see is, oh, here's my biome. It's a rainforest, and it has creatures that are actually in a rainforest. Again, there's nothing wrong with that, but I want you guys to get creative. So have fun with it. Going into that, one of you asked me, how can you make your own biome at home? And it's so funny that you asked that, because I watched this phenomenal YouTube video of a guy making his own biome in a jar. It was pretty cool. I'm very tempted to do it myself now that we've had a lot of rain and my pond has filled up. So you can take a jar, and what you want to do is you want to add things like grasses and moss and some rocks, maybe some twigs and stuff from a tree in like a little mason jar. And then you're going to go to a pond or a river, and you're going to get some water there. I would suggest you get some of the water from the bottom, maybe scoop up some of that sediment that's at the bottom of the river or the pond. And then you're going to seal off your jar and set it in the sunlight and watch it for a couple of days. Now, you may not have anything extremely large in that little biome of yours. You might have some little fish that you got, but you're also going to have some microorganisms. Maybe you'll have some worms or some beetles, and they'll start coming out afterwards. So I suggest that you try it at home. It's pretty cool. It would be a fun project to do. Some of you may not have a pond at your house like I do, because I live on a farm, but go to a park if you can, or go to a little stream that's around you, or maybe go out to a mud puddle. It's kind of the same thing there, guys. You might get some stuff there. So try it. And if you do it, I would love for you to document what you find, or maybe like day 1, I set it up. Day 2, this is what I found. I think that would be pretty cool. So yeah, you can create your own biomes at home. Absolutely. Again, if you do that, I would love to see how they turn out. Eighth graders, I think that's all the questions you guys really have. I feel like since we are just reviewing information, you guys have a pretty good grasp of things. I know this last playlist is probably not something that you want to do, because I feel like we have beaten scientific method and lab safety into the ground, but you will be going to high school next year, and I want to make sure that you guys are prepared for your science or your biology class or environmental science class, and eventually chemistry. So take scientific method and really run with it. Independent variables, dependent variables. I know that's something that a lot of people struggle with, not just middle school kids, but high school kids and college kids. For you guys, and especially the lab safety part. All right. So that's really all the content information that I have. Let me check my email one more time to make sure no one has sent out any other questions. But for the most part, I think you guys are doing a really good job. If you need more time on your work or you're struggling on an assignment, just let me know and I will be more than happy to help you with that. All right. So I don't have any more content questions that have come in. If you think of one, let me know. If I get some more, I'll do another video tomorrow. But if I don't get enough, then we'll just wait till next week to do another video. So now what I want to do is answer some of the questions that are kind of school related, but not really. One of the things, you guys asked what other people were struggling with. And I think it's funny that you asked that, whoever asked that, because you guys are all struggling kind of with the same thing. If there's an assignment, you guys tend to all miss the same things. So it's good for me to know that way I can hone in on it when I grade or send you back feedback. And, if I need to, we can use these videos to go over it. But again, for the most part, you guys are doing really well. You're using your resources around you. So at this point, I would say it's more of a technology struggle getting things to work. I know 7th graders, we had trouble with the last playlist with electricity and magnetism because my PowerPoint. I don't know what I did, but I obviously didn't make it a shareable link. So a lot of you were requesting access and it still didn't work. That's why I made the video of myself actually going over the PowerPoint. So if you can't access the PowerPoint, just watch the video. It's me walking through it just like we would in class. But yeah, it's more of a technology-based things. Maybe not getting the Edpuzzle to work or your Google form. You started it and you were unable to finish it and it shorted out. So those are just technology struggles. Other than that, I really don't think you guys are struggling with content a whole lot because if you are, I don't know. You haven't been sending me any emails and asking a lot of questions. So again, that was a good question. People's struggles. One of the ones I liked is, why do we have assignments every day? Well, if we were in school, you guys would have assignments every day too, right? We're not just going to sit around in class and do nothing. It would be nice if we could do that, but unfortunately we cannot. Hopefully you're not being overwhelmed. I don't know what other teachers are doing or how they're doing it, but I'm trying not to overwhelm you. The only assignment that you guys have is that playlist, and you don't have to work on it every day. I've given you a student checklist, which gives you what I think you should be doing each day just to make sure that you are not falling behind and you're not getting overwhelmed. But that's just a guideline. You guys don't have to work on it every day. And the reason that I provide bell ringers are for situations like this. What are you struggling with? What would you like me to go over? Or maybe like when we did the Star Wars one yesterday, who's your favorite character? Just something to know that you are still there, that you're interacting, and that you really don't need help. So assignments every day, yeah, we're just in school, guys. We need to make sure that we are doing something every day. Somebody asked about Minecraft. Not sure what you want to know about Minecraft. My Minecraft skills are very limited. Thanks to one of my students in my homeroom class. Shout out to you, Sean. He showed me and created me a Minecraft account, but I have not elaborated on that anymore. I haven't actually got to play. So to those of you asking about Minecraft, I don't think I'm the expert on it at all. Let's see. I think one of the last things that I have, and I think this was an 8th grader who posted it, is, do you think I'm ready for high school? It's just going to be a different school. Not a lot's going to change. You're just going to be in there with more people. Don't get overwhelmed. I know they're doing, I think, block classes. So each class will be kind of like your English class this year. It will be a long period of time. What I suggest to you is just take good notes, listen to your teachers, and if you struggle or you need help, go to them